Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Invin. Today I am going to be bringing you guys a class guide set up for the best classes in Cold War on Season 3. Now, some of the guns have had a slight change, and if you didn't see my patch notes video from the other day, you can go back and watch that if you want to see what's happened exactly with each of the weapons in Cold War multiplayer, in League play, and in Warzone. But long story short, we've had some buffs to some guns like you can see on screen here, the Krig 6, and some other guns have been nerfed. So I'm going to go over my top 5 best classes that I'm using all the time in multiplayer at the moment, and the ones that are just going to be improving and doing the best throughout the season because of the buffs they've received. Now, obviously, if this gets updated at any point, I will check back in, so make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on that. And if you do go on to enjoy today's video, make sure you drop a like as well, as it is much appreciated, and it really does help the video do well, so that'd be much appreciated. So without further ado, let's jump into today's video. The first class I've got here is the Krig 6. Now, this has had a buff in the recent patch notes. It's gone from a 1.25 damage multiplier and headshots to a 1.4, which is really nice. That paired with the ADS buff that it received halfway through Season 2 Reloaded means that this gun is actually really good. Now, in terms of how my whole loadout is set up, I have got Perk Greed on with Flat Jacket and Tac Mask. I've then got Scavenger, Assassin, and Ninja and Ghost. Again, entirely up to you how you want to set this up. You can run it as a 9 attachment gun if you want to. I find it works fine with just 5, so that's what I go with for the extra perks, particularly when you're playing a lot of Nuketown or the new Yamatow map. It does get quite hectic with grenades, so Tac Mask and Flat Jacket are just preferable for me. But it is entirely up to you guys what you want to rock on those weapons there as well. With the Krig 6, I'm running the Agency Suppressor. Now, with this, it does affect bullet velocity and effective damage range. So if you are playing bigger maps than Nuketown, or you're wanting to get that little bit faster bullet velocity on your gun, swap it out for the SOCOM Eliminator, because that's just horizontal recoil and shooting move speed. But what I like about this one is obviously that it's just a nice recoil control whilst being silenced, which keeps you off the map, which is really nice. So that's what I use on that one. Barrel, we've got the CMV mil spec. Now again, this one does increase the effective damage range down by 40%, so overall the damage range isn't great on this now. Again, like I say, it's because I've been playing those closer range maps, so if you do want the damage to be increased, I would recommend taking the takedown barrel instead, as all it does is reduce your sprinting move speed by 5%, which is actually not that much at all, and it's a really good barrel. Or you could even go for something like the ultra light if you just wanted to get that movement speed up a little bit. But the CMV mil spec is really good because of the stray speed, the damage, and the aim walking move speed. So that's what we've gone with for this there. We've then got the foregrip just on here, as it's basically, it just gives us some recoil control. We could go for field agent, but then that's going to be more shooting move speed negated. So if you are going to be sat back a little bit more playing for picks with this weapon, that's fine. Maybe throw on the field agent grip instead, but again, for me, my personal preference is to move around a lot more, so therefore I've gone with just the foregrip, so we haven't got the movement speed penalty there. I've then gone for the airborne elastic wrap with this. Again, aim while going prone, ADS and flinch resistance is one of the best ones to get. The sprint to fire time we're going to get rid of with the stock, so it doesn't really matter too much, and the sprinting move speed isn't too bad, but it's not ideal, but you kind of want the airborne elastic wrap anyway, so you kind of just have to take the hit with that one. Raider stock on the bottom here then as well, which is probably, you know, one of my favourite things to have on all of the Cold War guns. Sprint to fire time, aim walking movement speed. Does minus 30% hip fire accuracy, but it's very rare you're going to be hip firing with the Krig. It's got decent hip fire accuracy for an AR anyway, to be perfectly honest, but realistically, with the build that this has got, it's quite a snappy, quick weapon, so you're not going to really need to hit fire at all, especially if you're playing to the advantage of the gun. So that's how we set that one up. Whack it on with whichever secondary you want if you're leveling up a particular one. Currently, I'm going for camos on the Diamati, so it's just on the secondary for most of my classes, but go with whatever gun you guys want to. And then I've got Stim Shot, Tomahawk, and Field Mic. Again, whack on whatever you want there, it's personal preference. Moving then on to the Tundra. The Tundra is still really good this season. The Swiss is very nice once you've got it max level because of the speed, but I haven't actually got it max level myself yet. I've just seen a lot of content around this, so I'm working on that. I will bring you guys a full class for the Krig once that is updated and once I've got that max level, because obviously then I can give you the best possible class for it and some tips on how to get the camos and going for gold and that kind of thing as well. But for now, we've got the Tundra on here. I do still believe that this is one of the best snipers in Cold War, probably the best sniper in Cold War. Yes, it's not quite as fast as the Pellington. Damage on it is much better than the Pellington, which makes it worth using. Keep the same scope, so don't put an optic on. Using the Tiger Team Barrel, again for the damage, fire rate, and bullet velocity. It does mean you're starting with less, and you've got less bullets in your mag. but it's not too bad, to be honest with you. It's actually still worth, because if you whack on a 7-round mag, it still goes down to 6 bullets, which is still pretty good. I then run the infiltrated grip. That's just for a bit of movement speed with the sniper, which is really nice. Aim, walking, move speed being the main thing there, and shooting move speed obviously as well. Don't really need that too much, but the aim walking is really nice from that one. I go for 7-round mag because it doesn't affect the ADS time, but it does give you a little bit extra. Again, as I said, as it's reduced with that barrel that we've got on there, putting this on really just gives it that extra edge, so it's really nice. And then I've put that with the airborne elastic wrap, again, in case you need to prone while you're shooting, but also the ADS time is plus 12% with that. Flinch resistance 90%, so if someone does get some spray shots off on you first, you can still get the kill. Really good. And then obviously to finish it off there, we've got the Raider pad, sprint to fire time up, so you can get a few more quick scope kills, and aim walking move speed, so you can adjust that aim nicely. Hip fire accuracy slightly reduced, but it's actually, again, fairly decent on this anyway. And if you're close enough to hip fire and you haven't got to your secondary weapon, you're probably just going to be hoping for the best either way. So really good setup for this weapon. Again, I've just got on the pistol on the secondary. I've actually maxed the level on that now, so again, I'm just going for camos, but put on whichever pistol you want. I do recommend the 1911 though with a sniper, because the damage is very high. It's a 2 to 3 shot kill every single time, depending whether you get a headshot or not, which is really nice, and it's a very fast gun, so really good secondary to have. Steam shot, Semtex field mic, and then perk greed with the same perks as last class. Again, personal preference what you guys want to put on with that, but I just think that that is a good setup for me. It works well. We then got the LC10. Now, the LC10 has had a huge buff this season, which makes it actually quite nutty. It was already pretty good, and those of you that play a lot of League play will know that it was quite a dominant weapon in League play, but it's actually received a buff this season, which makes it actually pretty decent. The Warzone buff is more significant than the multiplayer buff, but the multiplayer, it's still very good. Just try it out, and trust me, play with this class and see what you think for yourselves, but I really like it. I've gone for the SOCOM Eliminator on here. Obviously, a vertical recoil control and muzzle flash concealment. That's pretty good. We've then gone for the heavy reinforced barrel. Now, with this one, you can go for task force, but the problem with the task force is the recoil is quite a lot when you do that. If you are quite good at controlling your recoil, or you don't mind having to adjust your mouse or analog sticks quite as much, go with the task force. 7% damage boost, pretty nice, and again, that effective damage range, which is really nice as well. But this one has got effective damage range up a little bit and bullet velocity up a lot, so that's actually a really nice barrel, and doesn't affect the recoil too much, which is really good. That's the main thing for that one there. Vandal speed loader on this one, you can go for maybe a 45-round mag if you want to, even maybe the Stanag 55, but then you are reducing the ADS time, and if you're playing a fast game mode like Nuketown, or you're playing hard points, dominations, you're going to want that ADS time, so anything that affects that I tend to steer away from. So I would go for either the fast mags or the Vandal speed loader on this one, just because it makes the gun perform better. Again, airborne elastic wrap for the same reasons as before, and same with the Raider stock. That's going to be the basic setup for these guns, because it just gives them a lot of mobility, a lot of snapping ability, and a lot of durability to be able to run around the battlefield, get those kills quickly, and be able to get on top of your opponent before they're ADSing, which is really nice. Again, camos with a shotgun for me. I haven't done many camos in the game, so I'm getting on top of a few now. Again, just use whichever secondary you want. Steam shot Semtex field mic is the setup I run with it. Again, field mic for the camos, really good. If you're not using that for the detected camos, I would recommend you put that on. Other than that, I've gone for Gun-Ho and Ninja instead of Ghost, just because obviously it's a run and gun class. SMG, you're going to be getting in close range. It's a lot better to have Gun-Ho on, and then that's the same run through other than that. The AK, I did make a class on the other day for the 9 attachment one, so if you do want to see that, I consider this to probably be the best class in Season 3 of Cold War, so go ahead and watch that video if you would like to, but I'm going to give you guys a 5 attachment class variant right now as well, so that you've got a little bit of an alternative if you do want one as well. On this class, I'm running the KGB Eliminator muzzle. We've got the VDV reinforced barrel, the Spetsnaz grip underbarrel, the VDV 50 round mags, but again, the ADS time is slower with this, so if you do want to go ahead and get the ADS time up, whack on the 40 rounds, that's more than enough ammo. It doesn't really affect anything but the reload quickness, which is actually really good. And then the handle there, we've got the GRU elastic wrap. Now again, if you don't feel like you want a mag on, you could swap that out and get the KGB skeletal stock. That's also really good, but for me, I think that the mag works better, particularly in Nuketown, because you're able to chain together those kills a lot more. Absolutely fantastic class. The 9 attachment one is slightly easier to use because you've got more visibility, especially with that Tiger Team spotlight on. That thing is nutty, but this is still a really good setup, and it will help you get a ton of kills very quickly, so definitely try this one one out. And then to follow on from that, we've got the Bullfrog. The Bullfrog here is probably, again, one of the other best weapons you'll see people using at the moment. It's very, very good in Cold War multiplayer, exceptional in Warzone. It's going to become the new meta SMG alongside the LC-10, so you will see a ton of gameplay people trying to level this up, and especially if you watch any Warzone content, you will see this gun popping up a ton. But this is the setup for multiplayer. You want the KGB Eliminator, the VDV Reinforced Barrel, the Fast Mags, the GRU Elastic Wrap, and the KGB Skeletal Stock. Now, again, if you are finding that the mags are actually fine, you can take them off, or you can put on the 65 round one if you just want a little bit slower reload. Alternatively, again, you could put on the Spetsnaz grip if you do find the recoil a little bit difficult. Take off the mag and put on the grip. But generally speaking, this has got pretty low recoil, quite a lot of ammo. Very, very good weapon. Try this one out. You won't let you down. Again, the same setup in terms of the perks and equipment, so that's just the same again. And then finally, to finish off here, I've included a PPSH class because obviously it's a brand new weapon. Tons of people are unlocking this through the battle pass. It's really, really fun. It doesn't dominate in Warzone, but in multiplayer, this thing is a beast. You definitely want to try it out. The mag size by default is 32, which is quite nice, but when you put on the drum rag, it's 55 round mag, which is crazy good. The recoil is pretty low on it. It's got a very, very fast fire rate. Little bit difficult to control at times, but overall a very, very nice weapon. You're going to want the KGB Eliminator. Again, if you wanted to stay off the radar, if you're playing these bigger maps, swap that out for the GRU Suppressor. It doesn't make too much difference. I just prefer the KGB Eliminator because I'm playing more Nuketown and close quarters maps. Then I've got for the barrel reinforced heavy. If you can control your recoil better, as I said on the previous weapons, whack on that task force, go for it. More power to you if you can get the 4% damage increase and get away with it with that horizontal and vertical recoil control minus. I prefer the VDV Reinforced because it's just a little bit more easy to control. You can snap onto kills quicker. But again, as I say, if you can control that Task Force barrel, go ahead and whack that one on. Under barrel, I'm using the Spetsnaz grip for the recoil control. Mag, again, I said I'm using the 55 round drum. Perfect weapon for this. It's a 36% reload quickness minus, but it doesn't feel that much in the game. To be honest, it's the same as any other weapon, really. A little bit slow, but not anything on the ultra slow side, so you're pretty good. I have seen some people rocking a 71 round drum mag. If you want to, you can, but the ADS time for me, again, I like to run around and snap onto people, so the ADS minus there really puts me off that. Have tried it out. It's not quite as good as some people make it out to be. I would prefer the 55 round drum mag for me personally. Then the handle there, I've gone for the GRU Elastic Wrap. Now, again, here, what you could be doing is taking off the mag and going for a Raider stock if you do want that even quicker time. Obviously, you're not going to have as many bullets, but the reload is going to be quicker, so you're getting back in the fight quicker. Whack on that Raider stock, you're going to be doing a ton of work with it. The hip fire accuracy from the Raider stock that gets rid of, I wouldn't worry about it. The hip fire on this thing is really, really good. So if that is something you want to set up, throw that on instead. Try it out. Again, same setup in terms of perks and equipment. And yeah, just tailor each of these classes to your own personal preference. But these are the best attachments I've found for the majority of situations. If you are going to play a slightly different playstyle and you want to swap a stock out here and there or a grip, go for that as well. Tailor them to your, obviously, personal playstyle. But these are generally the best classes in Cold War multiplayer right now for Season 3. Now, check down below to see whether you are subscribed to the channel. If you're not, go ahead and press that red subscribe button. I would much appreciate it. I am pushing for 1.5k subs, so it'd be much appreciated if you could help me out getting there. And we're covering tons of Season 3 content, so you don't want to miss out on it. If these classes get updated or any more patch notes are released going forward into future updates, I'll be covering them all here on the channel to keep you guys up to date with all of the latest information and weapon balancing and seeing what's good, what's not so good. So make sure you subscribe for that. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you drop a like. It helps out an absolute ton, particularly at the moment when there's loads of people making Season 3 content. A like goes a long way, so that'd be much appreciated as well. Other than that, thank you very much for watching, guys. Take care and peace.